Welcome back to my video blog. This is the second video, and I've got to tell you it's really strange to get into this whole mode of making a video blog. I'm not quite used to that, and one of the things I noticed is when I made my first video, I'm already trying to be too professional with that, too experienced. And when you look at it, or when I looked at it after making it, I thought about all these different things I could do to make it better, and thought maybe I should start it again and wait until I've got it perfect before I actually put it up on YouTube. But that's the problem, see? That's the problem with a lot of things we do in life, and that's something I struggle with as well, is that there's some kind of fear or shame behind what we do. So if we're not really comfortable with doing it, we end up not doing it at all and not developing it. So I have this belief that anybody can do anything, and you've just got to start. You've just got to do it and accept that you're a beginner, and let it develop through time and through experience. And it's no good having this belief if I'm not going to live by it. So I'm not going to think about this first video. It's up there on YouTube. This is the second one. I'm getting into the mode of what making a video blog is all about, and I imagine it will get a little more comfortable for me, which means it will be more comfortable for anybody watching these videos in the course of time. So what I want to do now is just dwell on the things that have been happening over the last couple of days. I've been in Amsterdam. I just got back from England after about 3 months in England. I was on the way to Spain, but I got stuck in England for various reasons, and I can tell you about them another time. But I just got back to Amsterdam. My situation at the moment is teetering on the edge of running out of money, and this is interesting for me to see how I feel emotionally about that. I've been in these situations before, and I've panicked and worried and got all stressed up about it. I'm not doing that at the moment. There's some kind of energy in me that's making me feel really peaceful and trusting, and this is what all the teachers in spirituality tell you, that if you want to manifest, you've got to be in the right frequency, the right vibrational energy to let that happen. And if you're feeling stress or feeling down or feeling wanting or anything, it's not going to happen. So I'm in my house in Amsterdam. I'm treading on the toes of my son, who's living here with a friend of his, and I've encroached on their space, and I feel quite conscious of that, and they feel quite conscious, and it's a strange situation at the moment. Still my house, of course, but I'm thinking of moving up anyway into the attic room just to give them their space back. And the thing is, I don't know how long I'm going to be in Amsterdam yet. I hope I'll be out before the summer. And the way things are going, it could be that I have to give my house up. It might be a better idea for me to give my house up and cut all ties with the Netherlands before I do leave, so that I can go to Spain and build up a new life without any costs and without any ties and financial business to hold on to in Amsterdam. It's sort of breaking free, and that's quite strange, because I've lived in this house now for about 10 years, and it's really strange to think about giving it up. I've got to find some balance with all this, some courage to actually take that step. But I believe it's all destined, it's all good, it's all part of my development and my journey, and I've decided to go on this journey, so there's no backing out for me. Anyway, let's look at a few of the things I've been busy with. I've got to sheet of paper in front of me here with all the things I've noted down, the major things. When I came back a week ago, I went online, and for some reason or other I got inspired to see if there's anybody else in the city who thinks the way I do about the law of attraction, about the holographic universe, about spirituality. And while I was surfing online, I found a law of attraction meetup group, which was just what I was looking for. There seems to be a lot of people in Amsterdam. Of course there are, it's just that I never knew how to meet them. But there's a lot of people here, and luckily for me, they were already having a meetup within a couple of days, and I joined the meetup group, and I immediately put myself on the list for this meetup. And it was only 5 of us who turned up in the end to a little restaurant in Zout, in South here in Amsterdam. And it was a beautiful little restaurant, a nice atmosphere. The music was a little bit too loud for discussion, but we got over that. And I met 4 other people who are so into this that I could speak freely about anything I wanted to. And this was so good. And all beautiful people. There was one guy there who has his own website now, and he's changed his whole life around in the last couple of years. There's an American lady who's been on this path for years and years and years. She used to be a playwright, still is a little bit, and writing her own book now, and really discovering everything about the opportunities when you go down this path. And she also gives one-on-one sessions with people. She's got her own practice in helping people to find their way on the spiritual path. And then there were 2 young ladies who are just so flowing with energy. It's so enlightening, so inspiring, and so much light on that table. It was amazing. So I'm really happy to have made those new friends. I've joined another group as well, which is it's going to be interesting in a couple of days' time. It's a Toastmasters group. Toastmasters is for public speaking, and I've read a lot about Toastmasters, never really fancied joining them, but this is a sort of intimate group, and it's a sort of extension of my storytelling activities. I go to a club here in Amsterdam called the Mesrab, and that is a storytelling club, and gather maybe 2 to 3 times a month, and everybody's free to tell stories. And I've told stories there a few times, and I've sang a few songs, but I've not really made it a regular occurrence, because I've been flipping to and fro, thinking about moving out of Amsterdam and then going travelling and coming back. But I've got to go there again. But the storytelling is really a deep part of my life now. There's some essence of storytelling which can be tied into spirituality on such a deep level, and it's to do with communication, it's to do with overcoming fears and learning to listen, and learning about yourself, learning about your stories, understanding you do have stories, and they are stories of your life. And when you create your little life stories and bring them out into a story to tell other people, you realize how much value that part of your life, that story within your life has. So you end up understanding that your whole life has very, very strong value in each episode you've lived, and sharing that with other people makes it even more special. And sharing it with other people helps to build your own confidence in communication and remove some of the fears in interacting with other people. I mean, one of the greatest fears that people have is public speaking, and it's not for nothing that people feel this self-consciousness when they get up and tell stories in front of other people. And this storytelling, bringing the oral storytelling tradition, is really a nice, gradual and fun way, an intimate way to get into that knowledge of what you can actually do, and where your fears really lie and your self-consciousness lies. And if you can overcome those, the world of opportunities opens up. That's what I've been discovering lately. And on a personal basis helped me develop, because I've been suffering with stage anxiety for a long time, and I'm learning to get over that now. That's subject for another talk in another time. I have really some deep thoughts on the value of storytelling, and I want to share those as well. So coming up Monday, I've got this meeting with the Toastmasters group. I think there's only about 5-6 people going, so it's going to be very interesting. I do not intend to give a speech on that evening. I've not prepared anything. I might tell a story if the opportunity arises, but I just want to check it out and see what the vibe is there, what the energy is, and see if it offers something for me for later, because public speaking is certainly one of the areas I want to develop in. And it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be interesting anyway. It keeps life exciting. It keeps the days exciting. So with the LOA group, the Law of Attraction group, and this Toastmasters group, within 2 weeks I've met 12 new people, all on the same lines with the same interests as I have, which is really fascinating, because they are they're everywhere, and you've just got to find these people, and you need to find these people, because you need the feeding, and you need to share when you're on a new path. You need the encouragement and the guidance and that sense of not being alone to keep you on that path and bring you out of your old ways of thinking and feeling, and develop towards where your heart is leading you. So it's good to seek out people with the same mind and join their communities, at least get to know some new people. Those are two of the things I did. After the Law of Attraction meeting, actually, it was really strange, because there was such a light and energy in that room, and I went home that evening and I felt great and excited about the path I'm on. And the next morning I went for a little stroll in the park. It was early morning, about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I like to go for little walks in the morning to start my day, and I'm free enough to be able to do that at the moment. What a luxury that is. So I went for this walk in the park, and on one side of the park I met up with a person I used to know from the school where my son went. She's a mother of a girl who's about the same age as my son. So we know each other a long time, but we haven't seen each other for ages. And we bumped into each other and we started talking. And it was a nice conversation, but we got onto the subject that while I've not been in contact with the school, quite a few people I knew there, people of my age, have died, have passed on. And one of them was a good friend of mine, a colleague, and he had such a good life, amazing life that everybody was jealous of, and he was only about 60. And everything going for him. He had a house in France. He was working towards his retirement. He had a good business, plant and flower business, and he was also a teacher in the school. And his son was a teacher. His son was a gym teacher of my son, and he was a well-loved person. And suddenly that whole life doesn't exist anymore. He's gone. He's passed on. He's passed to somewhere else, and you really start thinking about, when you start looking at other people's and you start feeling these emotions of envy and jealousy and wish you could be in their shoes and they've got it so good, and why can't you follow their example and everything? But you never know. You never know. You cannot put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You've only got one life to lead, and that's yours. And you have to be honest with yourself and follow your own path, because you don't know where that's going to lead you, and you don't know if it's going to end, but you don't know also if it's going to last for a very long time. And as you're on your own path, you don't know how many people you are touching with your own way of life that inspires and motivates them and gives them some kind of satisfaction and with their own lives. So we just don't know people. We don't know the lives behind these people. We don't know how long their lives are going to last. They come into our lives and they go, they come and they go, and we do the same into other people's lives. So it gives you a lot of cause for reflection. I wasn't sad when I heard this. It was a little bit strange, but I haven't had contact with the man for a long, long time, and I've lost colleagues in the school where I used to work in the last 10 years. I think I've lost about 5 or 6 different colleagues. So I'm starting to get used to that now. Maybe it's my age that needs to expect that a lot of people in my generation can go at any moment, which makes me really grateful that my life is still continuing, and I have the chance to fulfill my dreams and walk my path and follow my heart still while I'm still here. And it's not something I think about depressingly on with negative emotions when I think about death and passing on. I'm quite at peace and at ease with those ideas, and if I died tomorrow, I think I would be, if I could reflect on it after death, then I would be happy with what I've been doing up till now. I wouldn't die with any regrets, because I'm on the path I always wanted to be on, and I'm aware of that. So death doesn't frighten me. I don't want to die, not yet. I've got so much I want to live for, but it doesn't do any harm to reflect on those things. Anyway, I had that meeting with this woman, and then I walked around the park, and on the other side of the park I bumped into 2 Jesus disciples, 2 women who were giving out hearts, chocolate hearts, all covered in red shiny paper. And I love chocolate, so I took one from them. And then they started talking about God and religion and Jesus Christ and how I needed to find Jesus, and Jesus is the way. And instead of putting that off, and which is what I usually do with those sort of people, because I've been through that already. I've worked through that, and I'm on, for me, a higher plane of spirituality than just following some religion. And instead of walking away this time, I had a long conversation with them. Not judgmental. I wasn't telling them they were wrong. I was saying they are on their path and I'm on my path, and I'm happy to be on my path. And my God is maybe a different perception of what God is to their God, and the role that Jesus Christ plays in my life is different from the role that it plays in theirs life. And we were talking for about 20 minutes, and I took a book from them. I've not read it yet. I know what's in it. And I took another chocolate for him. I enjoyed the chocolate. And I enjoyed the conversation. It was almost as if the energy from the night before, talking about law of attraction and this new spirituality and what that means to us, brought me into a confrontation with the old spirituality that I was brought up with when I was a child, which is Christianity and Catholicism and the church and religion and those old foundations and beliefs of what God is all about. And it was interesting, and it was certainly refreshing for myself not to just discard that and walk away, but to have a discussion. I don't think I converted them, but that was not my plan, and they certainly didn't convert me. It'd be interesting to have a talk sometime with them, maybe again, just to see what their feelings were when they left. But I don't dwell on those things. I'm on my own path and I know where I'm going. But that was interesting anyway. There's a few other things I want to talk about that I've been busy with these last couple of days, and one of them is energy healing. I discovered reconnective healing, a guy called Dr. Eric Pearl on the internet. a while back actually, but I rediscovered them a couple of days ago, and I have this desire to develop some kind of energy within myself and take it out of my head and into my body and into my feelings. So this idea of reconnective healing, energy healing in general is fascinating, but this is a new kind of energy healing. And I don't know where it's going to take me, but if I wanted to develop within a healing sphere, I would certainly follow this route. And one of the practices, one of the exercises you can do is to, you know, put your hands across each other and try to feel the energy. And I must say, the few days that I've been practicing this, the feeling is getting a little bit different. I can't put a word on it. I can't explain what it is, but there's something there. So I'm not going to question it, or I'm not going to deny it. I'm just going to let it happen and see where this takes me. So that's going to be an interesting little path for me in the coming time. I watched a couple of videos yesterday, just surfing from one to the other, and then from links from people from the Law of Attraction group. They posted some links for videos that they found interesting, so I checked those out. One of them took me to a talk by some young lady in America called Christy Marie Sheldon, and the talk in itself was okay. She has her way, she has a practice, she has a certain way with her presentation. But towards the end, and I've put these videos that I'm going to talk about now, I've put on a link on my channel page, so you can check these out if you're interested. Around about 25-minute mark on this speech, she tells you how to expand your energy so that you can feel it more, to get to the place, to get to a higher frequency level in your body. I'm pretty new to meditation. This was like a small meditation. I'm pretty new to meditation. I haven't really been doing it long enough to understand the potential in it yet. And I know there's a lot of potential. It's just a new habit I've got to create to get into meditating as a daily practice. But this worked immediately. This was such an easy meditation. To explain it quickly, you just had to close your eyes and visualize the energy field around you, and then let it expand. Visualize it expanding past the room, past the house, past the street, past the city you're in, past the country you're in, past the continent, past the world, past the moon, past space, and so on. As far as you can go until you feel in a place of peace and restfulness and yeah, the whole universal energy. And I felt this. I thought it was amazing. It was so quick and so simple. I've tried it alone, but it works better with her guidance when she's speaking. And it's very, very quick. It only takes about 30 seconds to get to this place. You just got to try it. I can't explain it. Check the video out. It's under the title Christy Marie Sheldon, and on the 25.25-minute mark, she starts this little meditation to help you expand your energy, vibration, frequency, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting. Try it. Another video that I got from one of the girls at the Law of Attraction workshop was a video by Marshall Rosenberg. I've never heard of him before, but he works on non-violent communication. And although this is a lesson in the spiritual sphere, it really touches the awareness aspect of how we communicate with each other. there's a huge lesson in there. I think communication is one of the most important things. It's all we have, actually, communicating with ourselves, communicating with the universe, but communicating with each other. And I've been on a self-awareness trip for a long time, and learning to recognize my own patterns, negative and positive, and to develop the positive, override the negative. And this workshop video is really interesting, and certainly something that needs to be delved into a little bit more and studied a little bit more. He talks about jackal communication and giraffe communication, and it's quite interesting and worth a look. And you can recognize how the words you're using create the thoughts. It's a little bit like neuro-linguistic programming, I suppose, but I don't know that much about it yet. I'm not going to make a comment on it or tell you what it's about. The video link is there, but I certainly think it's worth looking into. And if more people were to understand the communication methods with people. I mean, this guy is an expert in this. He goes and gets people to communicate from all over the world. I mean, we're talking about warring tribes in Africa and warring countries, and he brings the leaders together, and with the same simple, basic method, he gets them to communicate and understand each other. And from there, they can develop practices to resolve conflict. It is a fascinating insight into your own program vocabulary, mode of thinking. It's another awareness key, awareness key, self-awareness key. Check it out. It's really, really good. And the last video I saw, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to watch this. It was on Facebook, and there's quite a few friends of mine who post a lot of socialist angry posts, bring down the government, that sort of thing. A lot of them are in England, and England politics is not that much better than... well, it's gone through the same processes, I suppose, as the American politics and the Dutch politics. But this friend of mine is very, very strong in opinions of the government. I don't agree with her method. She's right, of course, what she's talking about, but I do not want to get into her vibe, because she is so full of disappointment and anger. Lovely girl, lovely woman, but it's not the way to change the world. But I think it was her, and maybe somebody else, who posted this video on Facebook, and I thought I'll watch it because it's an award-winning documentary, and it's called The Four Horsemen. But I did watch it, and I watched it because I wanted the awareness of the world I want to escape. It's no good saying everything's bad if you don't know the ins and outs of why, and it's no good just having an opinion without anything to back it up. I don't read newspapers, and I don't follow the news, because I know the manipulation the media is using to limit awareness of what's happening in the world. And my spirituality is saying that reality is only one reality. You can put yourself in a different reality that's where you have to be aware of yourself and your reality, and change the reality from out yourself, and not try to change a system that you don't agree with. This brings up a lot of discussions in what's real, what's not real, and what's responsible and what's not responsible. I'm not going to go into that in this moment. I don't want to go into that. I'm still feeling these things and coming up with conclusions, my own conclusions about what's important for me to do in my life. So I don't read newspapers. The headlines alone make me sick. and depress me. And I don't watch the news for the same reason. If I want anything, if I hear about something and want more information, I'll go online. There's lots of different angles on what you would call news online, and it just gives you a wider view and a wider awareness from different points of view and from different people, to get a whole picture so you can make up your own mind about what it is. But just listening to say CNN or the main news on the TV, and reading newspapers or reading just one newspaper as a habit is so limiting. I just don't want to get into that. But this gave a breakdown. It was a video that shows basically what the state of the economy and the state of the world is because of the state of the economy, and it lays it out in a very easily understandable view about where the world is at this moment, the state of the world, and what's feeding the negativity, what's everything that's bad that's happening in the world now, in reality, is being fed, and most of us feel powerless to do anything about it, but we walk around with this negative impression about humanity. And this video gives you a sort of overview. You have the choice, obviously, to believe if it's true or not, but it gives you an overview of the situation from out a group of expert economists. And it's very interesting, it's fascinating. I mean, if you want to know any more than that, obviously you've got the whole internet to look into. Comments are interesting on it. People think it's a load of bullshit, and others think it's the greatest thing since what the bleep. I've got a link on there. It's called The Four Horsemen. It's worth watching, especially if you're into awareness. It takes you back in your vibe, but then you can balance that up. You can choose how you take in this information, what to do with it. It doesn't have to depress you. It doesn't have to make you angry. It can actually give you hope. And that's an interesting thing to understand and experience. So I recommend it. Watch it. So they're the main things that's been happening these last couple of days. Well, I've been in Amsterdam a week, so I can say the last week. Two other things this morning. Because this is a vlog, a daily blog, I want to talk about the normal things that pass me and affect call my attention in the course of a day. And the more aware you become of the path you're on, the more aware you become of your own feelings and emotions and thoughts and opinions, and you get confronted almost continually with something to reflect on. And I had it this morning. I just was walking to the cafe, and which was nice enough in itself, and practicing that expansion of my energy. I was just walking down the street with this imagined, visioned globe of energy around me that stretched out way past the borders of Amsterdam. And I sat in the cafe and I had my coffee and I did my writing, and decided after one coffee it's enough, I want to get home, I want to start on this video, and I've got a few other things I need to sort out today. And I was walking down the road and I walked past a supermarket. Now this is Amsterdam, and it doesn't matter which supermarket you walk past, you are bombarded with homeless people holding out their hands, asking you for money. For me, this is so confronting I need my money. I don't have that money. I don't have abundance. I know that's a wrong thing to say if you're into, or to even believe in, when you're into the law of attraction. But I cannot give people what I don't physically have. I know I have abundance awaiting me, but I don't have it on my person. And the financial situation I'm in at this moment is so that, you know, okay, I can afford a cup of coffee, and I don't want to give up that cup of coffee and give it to a homeless person who I know is not homeless. They have homeless shelters here. It's their lifestyle to hang around the supermarkets and ask for money so they can go in the supermarket and buy beer. And I don't really know how to deal with this yet. It's really difficult to, and you're confronted with this on a daily basis, every time you go shopping. And when I was walking past a supermarket, I bumped into 2 or 3 people, one after the other, all with a hand out. And this is every single day around here, and that's obviously you have to make a decision. Do I give to these people or do I not? And you've really got to follow your heart at that moment, and you've got to deal with any feelings of guilt you might feel, you might experience at that moment. It is not my task, I feel it's not my task, to hand them money every time I pass them. If I did that, I could, I have to choose to stop shopping in the supermarkets, cross the road whenever I pass one of those, but I mean the homeless shelter is just around the corner from where I live, so I can't even walk down the street without bumping into a whole bunch of them hanging around on the street corners waiting for passers-by. And it seems I have a kind enough face that they always start chasing me. It's a difficult situation. I've always felt this is a difficult situation, and I'm choosing at this moment not to let myself be confronted with it, because I can't change the situation. I'm not in a situation to change the situation. If it comes up in me to actually give them some money at any one moment, then I will gladly do that. But if my heart's telling me to walk away, then I have to walk away and deal with the guilt and look into the guilt feelings and what they really mean to me and what they're saying to me, and come to terms with that. But it's interesting that these sort of things really jump out at me at this moment. All lessons in life, all lessons in who I am, in where I'm going and what I'm doing, what I believe in, awakening all the programs in me that I need to understand, all the conditioned habits of thought and belief and emotions that hold me back. Guilt is one of them, for example. Guilt holds you back from a lot of things, and they say if you want to manifest money, you have to get rid of all guilt of having money, and maybe there's something in my programming that doesn't want me to have money, or I think that I don't want money. Subconscious programs, all part of the big lesson. I'm going to stop here because I've pretty much talked about what I want to talk about today, and I want to get this video online as well, and see what today brings, and see what my next step is, and just get another video online, because that's what it's about. There's so much happening, so much I want to happen, so much I'm aiming towards. It's sometimes I don't know where to start, and I had the thought this morning, should I busy myself with this YouTube channel, or should I just let it go because it's already taken up my time? But I feel that a video channel is what I need to do at this moment, so that's why I'm still doing it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here before I get completely off subject. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully, and thanks for tuning in. Bye bye.